No, I don't mind you asking at all. In fact, I've been meaning to make a video about this for a while. I used to wonder the exact same thing and spent a lot of time Googling trying to figure out like how are people buying houses. So I'm not an expert, but this is how I did it and hopefully it helps. So I think the hardest part is saving up for the down payment, and unfortunately there's not really a magical answer to that. I just saved for 2 or 3 years, and I was splitting rent with my boyfriend at the time, pretty cheap rent, so that helped a little bit too. The other thing is that you do not have to put 20% down. Don't believe people. I only put 5% down, and I don't regret that at all because it allowed me to get into a house. When I was looking for houses, I was really just looking for what I wanted, which was to be in a specific area and close to the train because I don't drive. But I think it kind of accidentally worked out being good because a lot of people wanted that same thing. So then later when I went to sell the house, it was very easy to do so. So I bought basically the ugliest house on this block. It was very cheap for the area because that's what I could afford. And I pretty much just bought it because that's all I could afford, and just knew that I would fix it up as much as I could. Another thing I did was I had my lender raise my interest rate a little bit. So I think I had him raise it like 1/4 to 1/2 of a point higher than what I qualified for, and that meant that the lender actually gave me a credit towards closing of several $1,000s. So for me, because I needed cash up front, much more so than I needed like $50 lower on my monthly payment, that was a good move, and I would also recommend that. So I moved into the house. I actually had just broken up with the boyfriend I mentioned, so I spent like 2 or 3 months just drowning my sorrows in home renovations and getting the house as fixed up as I could with very little money. So that meant like painting absolutely everything. I painted every wall, I painted the kitchen cabinets, and just trying to get it to a more like livable situation. Then I took out a personal loan for about $15,000, and I used that money, I used half of it to redo the bathroom, which was absolutely disgusting, and the other half I used later to rebuild the front porch, which was unsafe. So after a few months, the house was in okay condition, and I was able to get a roommate who was a friend of mine, and her contributions allowed me to pay my mortgage. I could not have afforded it on my own. So I lived in that house for a little over 3 years. The roommate moved out, a new boyfriend moved in who eventually became my husband. Also in that time, the basement flooded and I used insurance to redo it, but I was able to pick a little bit more aesthetic floors and paint colors and stuff, so that helped too. I did have to pay my deductible. Out of time part 2.